Welcome to Grand Oak in reverse. Now for this race, things are going to be a little bit different. We're going to be starting last. Not only that, clawing back the positions to get ourselves up to a decent place turns out to be much harder than actually anticipated, and that is thanks to the actual great balance of this lobby overall. Not only that, the severe competition or brutality, not on ourselves but on the other drivers around us, is quite remarkable. We have gained one position up to now. We're now at P22, catching up behind the trio of cars. I'm not too sure where the Mustang's going, but it's doing Mustang things. Up to position 19 we go. We're going to head over to this corner now. Going to brake early, let the BMW take the inside line. I kind of expected that was going to happen, so it's easier to preempt the situation and try and claw it back in a moment than to be off into the gravel pit and starting off all over again. One thing I'll say about these next few corners, this one here especially, if you're not on a racing line, it is brutal. The understeer is there. Same as this final corner here. If you do not nail this right onto the white pads and then you touch the blue, that is it. You will get a penalty for it. It is that brutal. The stewards do not see fondly to going onto the blue pad. Coming around turn one, they have a car to our left hand side that does a flipping great exit of that corner, and off into the shadow realm they go. Not too sure what's happening with this BMW to the right side and the Mustang, but that is going to be a position gained, whilst the Lexus comes in full-blown sideways, showing off their drifting skills. We eventually lose 3 positions from that. While it doesn't look good at the moment, them 3 will end up battling quite heavily, especially that Lexus does seem to be rather unique, is the word we're going to use here. This situation will benefit us overall, because whilst they're all chaotically battling, we can slip up through the inside and take that position. That is the plan. Execution, again, is on a whole new level, and that is a lot of dust, as an Aston Martin did discover the outside of that track, and being cast by the Ghost is the way to overtake cars. So credit where credit's due there. Coming up the inside of this corner now, have a little bit of contact from the Aston Martin. Thus, the stewards say that is your fault, Flash, and there's a warning for severity level 1. Very rarely have I seen penalties that ruthless for such minimal contact, because the car's still on the track, you know. It's not like we set them off to the shadow realm or intentionally cause contact. It's just, you know, a door to a bumper bang. You would think with all this chaos that is going on that we would be in a much higher position. We are not. Up to P16 and under pressure from the Mustang behind us, as well as the Aston Martin looking to reclaim whatever they lost earlier before they crashed. Catching up behind the BMW M8 up ahead, which is position 15. The Aston Martin behind did do a dive bomb on the Mustang and pretty much ultimately sealed the fate of. They are well far behind now. We are no longer under pressure, so thank you ever so much for that. Getting a nice tight angle in on these final corners here, but it just wasn't going to work with the BMW being able to have the lovely cut back on that corner. Again, fishing for another move, but not in the most optimal places. We lose actually a lot of time because it's just a very poor entry and exit from that final corner. And it doesn't really progress much further from there. So into the pits we go, out of the other side. Coming out, we're in position 15. Dex Twilight has just entered the pits 65 seconds ahead. So yeah, make of that as what you will. You know, gonna lose about 30 seconds in the pits, so they are quite far ahead. And it's crazy to think that we're having such great racing from so far down the pack. It's very rare that you get this kind of level of racing. It's not overly aggressive, but it is very competitive, and everybody is putting up an absolute brilliant fight. And by lap 14, we've only gained a few places overall, thanks to other cars now eventually going into the pits, running a different tyre strategy than ourselves. Ultimately, he can't do a hard no stop here. The track is too ruthless on tyres, and everybody has no choice but to pretty much pit anyway. I mean, we're on P10. I can't grumble at that too much. We did get a penalty, 0.7 seconds from exactly that situation you just saw there. going onto the blue pad. Thankfully, you know, it was just in the lines. Last time I was a pixel over the line, and the penalty system said, you know what, Flash, you're going to get hammered for that one. 0.7 seconds for being a pixel over the grain. Not ideal, but Van Maxen up in front is really close. So we're going to see if we can lure them in, catch them up. We've got a few more corners to go until lap 16, where we have gained a second overall. And I think, in reality, I think the tyres have dropped off. While our tyres are certainly not looking pretty, there are minor wear again. 1.1 seconds away from the carbon front. That could be 1 or 2 corners were right up their trumpet. If their tyres are far more heavily worn, if we can maximise these corners here, we might be within a shout. But the thing is, the penalty is not going to be working on our side. Our penalty is larger than theirs. Also, we'll have to overtake them and gain 0.2 of a second. That is not going to happen on this final corner. But you know what? This race was actually alright. So credit where credit's due to all the other drivers here. It was an absolute brilliant race from the back to the middle. While this race may well be over, we're going to head over to Daytona now, and things are very, very different at this track. And not just in the tyre choices that people and ourselves will make, but also their mentality and behaviour. Let's head over to Daytona now. Let's see what's going on. We're going to start off this race in position 10. But by turn 1, things are going to be very, very different. Now, there's a fair few Aston Martin and Porsches in this race. Aston Martins, we all know, absolutely brilliant on tyres. Porsches, I'm not 100% sure what they're like on tyres. I find them a bit understeery. But as we enter turn 1, getting absolutely bundled out wide. Staying on the track, and here in the absolute chaos of turn 1, we come out the other side, only losing 3 places. And then gaining a lot more thanks to that massive crash that just happened there. And Casper the Ghost managed to destroy another car. So we're up to P6. That's amazing. Cannot grumble at that. We are on hard tyres. There's no point in stopping at this track. It takes over 40 seconds to pit here, and it's absolutely brutal on your lap time or overall race time. Braking a little bit late and a bit too lightly for this one here. Loses us 2 positions. Do you mind, buddy? There is plenty of track, nobody. Have a bit of that. There we go. As I was saying, we are on hard tyres. We're not going to stop for this race. Audi R8, nobody behind us. 0.1 second away. We're going to be looking to make a move at the bus stop. Do you know what? I'm going to move over to the right hand side. Let them have the inside line. They may well butcher up the bus stop, which will give us the position back. But also, their car is that little bit quicker. So it's easier to rely on someone to pull you along that's a little bit quicker in the car than to hold them up and be under pressure from a third party. Although plan and ideas were there, they clearly didn't work, and we're now under pressure from racer Tony to our left hand side, whose car doesn't seem to be as fast as ours. This Bentley does fly when it gets on a run, and it really is a pretty quick bit of kit. Definitely quicker than the Porsche. More than likely the Porsche's rocking a lot more downforce to keep that rear end in check. Not too sure. Everybody's tune will be different. We are catching up to the Audi R8 up in front. They're only 0.8 seconds away. Not only that, they are also having a good bit of elbowing battle with a fart speaker. That is a unique name right there. Crikey. Can't even believe I read that one out. Anyway, fart speaker loses said position to the Audi R8, and that'll only help us along in the long run. Braking into this corner is certainly not helpful, Flash. You've got to brake a bit harder and a bit earlier. Racer Tony taking that position back from us won't last all too long, because again, their car is just not that quick, and ours is, which is absolutely ideal. Not only that, with us behind another car, we are no longer under pressure ourselves. They're the person that's under pressure. They're going to see us right up behind them, heading towards that bus stop, pushing them along, having that formal contact, getting into their head. I'm going to back off a little bit, brake at the crane on the right side, and let situations develop. And situations have developed. Ferrari went garden up in front. joins the track, makes the bank 3 wide and gets absolutely bullied off the track from the Porsche. That's no problem, no foul. All of them are now running a little bit slower, so we can keep our momentum going, take that position. Not too sure what the Ferrari is doing, more than likely trying to block the momentum this car is carrying, but thinking quick on our feet was not going to happen. A little bit of contact as they come plowing in to turn 1, because that is exactly how to drive a GT3 car. Absolutely nail it. What on earth was that? How on earth are you so affected when you're Casper? And little things like that I find always a bit weird in Forza. You are invisible, like, you know, you're ghosted. Why is elements affecting you whilst you are ghosted? You rejoin the track and you're blinking? I don't know. Just the way it is, I guess. Under pressure from the 10-day and the Aston Martin behind us, and the trio or quadruple of cars up ahead are having their own little party, watching from a safe distance. You never know, things will work in our favour over a period of time. We have 11 laps at this race, and although yes, climbing up the ranks is absolutely ideal, we're only in position 6 and we can see all 6 cars ahead of us. Leader is only 3.6 seconds away. Now the Aston Martin is looking to go on the outside here. It may work. Are they going to have enough momentum to beat us into the bus stop? And they are. I mean, that car was absolutely flying. Not going to lie. But with their flying tactics, ourselves being in the slipstream, pull us closer to that Ferrari, pull us closer to the pack of cars up in front. Maybe the Aston Martin and the Ferrari will have a little bit of a face-off. And that's the situations we kind of need. I mean, nobody is now in position 1, rocking a 3.2 second penalty, and that was the Audi R8 that we had contact with earlier. But by the time we get to lap 4, the Aston Martin's a little bit further ahead, but we have worked our way up the pack. Ferrari and the Aston Martin are heavily battling. Aston Martin taking a whole new approach to the bus stop and plow straight into their own cousin, sends them back off the track. At least we are not affected by said situations, but it has slowed both of these cars down. So why not make it a party of 3? Because introducing a third contender only provides a bit of entertainment, I guess, is probably the best way of putting it. And entertainment it shall deliver as the Ferrari flies into the track and has nobody to rely on to slow them down. Thus, 1 position gain. We're now up to P4. While yet we're under a little bit of pressure from K050M behind us, they are also rocking a penalty. And, well, the Aston Martin up in front is only 0.9 seconds away. We're not even halfway through this race yet. We have plenty of time on our sides to start to be a little bit more consistent, retrain ourselves for this corner here, which we almost braked at the right point for. Just a little pixel earlier would make a huge difference. And as you see, it has caught us a bit of time up from the Aston Martin. Now, a few people have gone into the pits. Aston Martin has also managed to get away a little bit. We had a moment again in that corner that we usually forget to brake in, went off track, cost us a lot of time. Jules the Bull behind us is only 2 seconds away, and they have been slowly eking away at that time. The accident didn't really help matters because, well, Jules the Bull has closed the door quite heavily. Our tyres are quite worn and things are not working in our favour. But that certainly isn't going to help matters now, is it? Frustratingly enough though, Jules the Bull only got a 0.5 second penalty, and now I'm not too sure if that's due to an off-track or due to the collision. Never seen one 0.5 for a collision. Correct me if I'm wrong down below, but it's not something I've witnessed or ever had to ourselves. So that contact has cost us a place and actually cost about 2 or 3 seconds overall for the both of us. Really frustrating that this wasn't taken into account, else we would still be in contention. Only thing that's working on our side, if Just the Bull has an incident, goes off track, whatever, we will claim that position back, but sadly I don't think that's going to be the case. Now they're 1.1 seconds away. This Bentley again is not the fastest in the straight line, I actually think that car's a little bit quicker, but maybe in the corners we might benefit to a degree. Who knows? Only the Forza gods will be able to dictate what's going to happen on this final lap at Daytona. And considering the Forza gods, you know, just aren't in anybody's favour, you never know your luck, to be quite honest. Now, due to the ball being 1.5 seconds ahead, they have had much better corner one than ourselves. At least on the plus side, we're not under pressure from anybody behind. I mean, Wolf Mania Boost 57 is 12.2 seconds away. A monumental amount of time away. Not only that though, so is the person behind them is quite a large time away, and the person behind that. The pack on this track is so spread out, it's not even funny. You know, everybody's miles away from each other, but I do believe had a lot of quitters in this race, because looking at the map at the bottom left, there really is not many of us left. So it is kind of a shame. I mean, there's people still going around turn one. That's how far this pack is so spread out. Sadly, though, we have made a little bit of time on just the ball, but they haven't made any monumental mistakes. They haven't gone off track and claimed a further penalty. They haven't had an incident. We have claimed time in the corners, but we're going to lose time on this back straight. Our only hope is the bus stop. Let's be honest. Bus stop is so easy to make a mistake here, and it just doesn't look like it's going to be the case. Now, it would be awesome if this Bentley was a little bit faster. They're only 1.1 seconds away. We just need a few more horsepower to knock it down to a 1 second and then 0.9, and we claim that position. But it isn't going to be the case. If anything, we lost a little bit, and trying to cut the corner a little bit, trying to get a tenth in here and there. Just the Bentley is not the fastest on a run, and I don't think the Red Bull livery gave us the extra 10 horsepower needed for this race. So we're going to have to look for a new livery. Yeah, you can see that 12 drivers left remaining at the end of that race.